Hello, from PaleoHacks. This is Paul Teodo, yoga and meditation teacher, previously from Los Angeles, previously before that from Chicago. Now I actually live in Bali, Indonesia. So here we are today on our second week of some yoga exercises. This week we're going to follow up with some core strengthening exercises. We're going to strengthen those belly muscles without doing crunches. So there's the six-pack muscles, the rectus abdominals. Then there's the transverse abdominals, which is it's like a rubber band that wraps around your entire pelvis. And those are more important core muscles. Those muscles are really helpful in your posture, so protecting your lower back and strengthening your posture. So before we get started, please send me some likes. Let me know where you're from, so I can kind of so I can know where you're from. So we also know that the connection is working well. Anybody here? Send me some likes. I'm getting some likes. Okay, I'm getting some likes. Cool? Alright, so we're cool. Okay, so here we're going to go. Just before we get started, so we're going to start with this posture is called Sukhasana. It actually means easy seated pose. It's just sitting with your legs crossed. If your hips are tight, if this doesn't feel good, then feel free to lift your butt up and put like a couple pillows underneath your butt, or put a block if you have a yoga block, or even like a couple phone books underneath your hips. That would be fine. That'll help raise your hips so you're not putting too much pressure on your lower back. So first posture that we're going to do is just a very simple twist, just to kind of wake up the muscles in the belly and stretch the spine a little bit. So first thing, take your left arm up, take your left hand to your right knee, sit up nice and straight, and just turn and look over your right shoulder. Use your inhales to get a little bit taller. Use the exhales to twist a little bit deeper. Simple twist. Good. Come back to center and switch sides. Reach your right arm up, right arm on the left knee, sit up straight as you exhale. Gentle twist over your left shoulder. Inhales, lengthen the spine. Exhales, deepen the twist. All right, come back to center. I'm going to move into this core strengthening exercise. So we're going to come into tabletop position, hands and knees. And you're going to spread your fingers wide just like I'm doing. Stack your wrists and your shoulders, and stack your knees and your hips. So your knees are about hips width apart. Your knees are directly underneath your hips, and your wrists are lined up with your shoulders. And now just continue to wake up the body. I want you to press down through your hands. Take a nice deep inhale and pull your heart forward, arching your upper back. This is called cow pose. And as you exhale, press down through the hands again around the spine for cat. Inhale again, heart forward, arch the upper back. Exhale, round the spine. Do 3 or 4 more of these, go at your own pace. Good, now from here, tuck your toes, press down through your toes, press down through your hands, lift your knees up an inch. This is your first core activating exercise. Keep the shoulders stacked above the wrist, keep a little bit of rounding in your upper back, and we'll hold this for another 20 or 30 seconds. Feel your shoulders starting to fire up, the triceps, the belly. And if you want, you can do cat-cow again with the knees up. Inhale, arch the upper back. Exhale, round the spine. If that's too intense for you, don't do it. One more time, or maybe two more. Inhale. Exhale, round the spine. Beautiful. Come back to this tabletop position with the neutral spine. Take your right leg, lift your right leg straight up and back. Push your back foot up like you're trying to push it into the wall in the back of the room. And then notice your toes of your right foot. Turn them in a little bit so the toes face down. And take your eyes, look about 2 feet in front of you on the ground. And then as you're doing that, reach your left arm forward, sunbird balancing pose. So if you're having a hard time balancing here, pull your belly button in, press down through your right hand a little bit more, and use your eyes to balance. And don't worry if you fall. Don't worry if you fall. You can just drop the left hand down and then start over again. So if you fall, it's no big deal. Nice. Go ahead and switch sides. So left hand comes down, right leg comes down, left leg pushes back, draw the navel in, press down through your hands, look 2 feet in front of you on the ground, reach the right arm forward. Sunbird balancing pose. Use your eyes to balance. Nice. Go ahead and release that. Shake out your hips. Shake out your shoulders. From here, tuck your toes, push your butt up and back, downward facing dog. First downward facing dog. If you're really tight here, keep your knees bent a lot like I'm doing. Look at your hands, spread your fingers wide, press down through all 10 fingers and feel your triceps wrap down. Couple deep breaths here in downward facing dog. You can play with starting to straighten your legs. So push the heels down, push the hamstrings up and back. But when you start to straighten your legs, that makes your lower back feel tight, then don't straighten the legs. Keep the bend in the knees. Push your hips up and back, lengthen the spine. Take a couple deep breaths, feel your shoulders stretch, feel the spine getting longer, feel the backs of the legs opening up. Beautiful. From here, pull your shoulders forward, come into plank position, top of a push-up. So again, shoulders and wrists stacked. Spread the fingers wide. Press down through all 10 fingers. Hug your elbows in. Legs are straight. Or if this is too intense for you, drop down onto your knees. Take plank on the knees. Okay? Let's hold this plank for 5 breaths. So this is really starting to fire up your transverse abdominals. So what do we tend to do here in plank? The butt sinks down, or you push your butt up. Neither of those. Draw the navel in, pull the heart forward, draw the tailbone back. Upper body's pulling forward, lower body's pulling backwards. Press down through your hands, press down through your toes. And again, if it's too intense, come on to the knees. It's fine. Back to plank. Good job. So first child's pose, we just earned it. Drop down onto your knees. Open up your knees a little wider than your hips. Pull your hips back. Take your forehead down to the mat and rest. Take about 5 or 6 deep breaths in child's pose. You've earned it. Okay, so from here, let's open up the shoulders real quick. So stay in your child's pose. If you need to look up for a second to check me, that's fine. Go ahead and look up. Stay in your child's pose, but take your hands behind your back and just start to lift the arms off the hips to open the shoulders a little bit. If this is too intense for you, then grab a towel,
and you want to have a towel in between your hands. Couple breaths, just opening the shoulders. Nice. Okay, release those hands, and let's come back to downward facing dog. So reach the arms forward, tuck the toes, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, little bend in the knees, push the hips up and back, breath is deep. Five breaths. Okay, from downward facing dog, pull the shoulders forward again, come into plank position, top of a push-up. Adding on to this, coming into forearm plank. One hand at a time, drop down onto your forearms. Have your forearms parallel like the number 11. It's the same thing as plank. Press down through the forearms, just a little bit of rounding in the upper back. Draw the navel in, pull the sternum forward, draw the tailbone back towards your heels, and we'll hold this. This is again an uncomfortable silence. If you need to, drop down onto the knees, nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's stay here for another 30 seconds. So simply holding plank and forearm plank is one of the best core exercises you can do, strengthening those transverse abdominals. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop your knees down. Coming into Sphinx pose is our first back bend here. So watch me. I want to keep the elbows lined up with the shoulders. Look at my legs. My toes are released and my legs are really long. So actually lengthen your legs without lifting your legs up off the ground. Just pull them long. And then press down through the forearms, open the collarbones, lift the heart. A couple breaths here. Sphinx pose. Okay, from here, forehead releases. Take your arms behind you, palms facing down, and have the hands a couple inches, about 6 inches out from your hips. You're going to press down through your hands. You're going to lift your chest up, coming into what's called locust pose, a variation of what's called locust pose, strengthening your spine. So what tends to happen here is we tend to jam the neck up. Don't do that. Keep the chin, or tuck your chin just a little bit. Let the back of your neck get long and soft. Lift the heart and strengthen that spine. So for this one, keep your feet on the ground. 2 more breaths. Nice. Go ahead and release. Rest. Okay, so we're going to do that one again, or if you're looking for something more challenging, I want you to follow along with me. So you're either going to do this one again, or interlace your hands behind your back, push your knuckles towards your feet, lift your chest, and on this one, lift your legs. Squeeze your legs together, pull your legs back, lift your chest, pull the top of your head forward, and then open those collarbones, open the shoulders, strengthening the spine. Beautiful. Go ahead and release that. Take your hands by the spot where your chest and your ribs meet, and go ahead and pull your hips back. Another well-deserved child's pose. Hands forward, forehead down, rest. From here, come back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, push your hips up and back. We're going to move into a side plank, Vashisthasana. From here, in your down dog, take your feet together so your big toes are touching, and then slide into plank position, top of a push-up. Press down through your hands, pull the sternum forward. Roll onto the outside of your right foot and reach your left arm out. This is called side plank, Vashisthasana. So look at me. You want to have the shoulders stacked. You want to have the right side of your body getting longer. And what tends to happen is the left hip draws backwards. Take the left hip, pull it forward so your hips are stacked on top of each other, and breathe. If this is too intense for you, drop your right knee down. It's fine. Okay? 10 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Left hand comes down, back to plank. Let's actually rest for a moment. So pull your hips up and back, down dog. Take some weight off the shoulders. And then second side. So shoulders over wrists. Press down through the hands. Roll onto the outside of your left foot. Reach your right arm up. Same thing. Side plank. Pull the left finger or the right fingertips up. Notice your right hip. Draw it forward on top of the left. Your hips are stacked. Pull your toes towards your face. Your feet are flexed. For 10. And again, drop the knees down if you need to. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank position, top of a push-up. Drop down onto your knees. Child's pose.
That's our dog, Bodhi. He's letting us know that he's awake.
Bodhi. Alright, from here, come back to downward facing dog again. Last little thing here. We're going to combine everything. Come into plank position, top of a push-up. Drop down onto your forearms again, forearm plank. We did this earlier. Feet together, roll onto the outside of your right forearm. Forearm side plank. Drop the knee down if you want. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. Left forearm comes down. Pause for a moment. Switch sides. Roll onto the outside of your left foot. Reach your right arm up. Same thing as before. Flex the feet. Press down to the forearm. Stack your shoulders. Draw your navel in and breathe. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that forearm. Come into forearm plank again. Drop your knees down. Open the collarbones, coming back to Sphinx pose. Drawing the navel in and up. Drawing the sternum forward. Your legs are long. Beautiful job. Release your forehead down. Slide your hands back. Push your hips back. Child's pose. Well deserved. Okay, from here, back to tabletop position, hands and knees. I'm going to finish off with 1 or 2 simple stretches. So for this, this exercise,
this routine, once you get stronger, you can just do the whole routine that I just gave you and just hold things for a little bit longer. So hold plank a little longer, hold forearm plank a little longer, the sunbird, all of those poses, just hold them for just a little bit longer. That's how you're gonna get stronger. So a very simple but very powerful way to strengthen your core. So last thing we'll do is just gonna take a butterfly pose. Take the bottoms of your feet together, sit up nice and straight, fold forward. Go ahead and sit up. Straighten your legs. I was going to do one more. Straighten your legs out. Reach your arms up. Fold forward. If you can't reach your toes, just take your hands down by your sides. Sit up and fold forward. And again, if this is too intense for your lower back, get a couple pillows, place them underneath your butt. That's going to raise your hips and not create as much tension as you fold forward. Legs crossed, hands at center, close your eyes for a second, just 10 seconds of silence with your eyes closed. Take a second to notice how you feel. All right, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste. I'm going to stay here to answer any questions for a moment or two. Anybody here have any questions, feel free to shoot them out and I'll answer some right now.
We have a question from Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
How do I know if I have proper form in plank? I always feel like I'm holding myself up mostly in my arms.
Okay, cool. So that's one thing that I mentioned before. So what tends to happen in plank and what I see is people drop their hips like this, and then they start to create, actually there's an arching of the lower back, and it creates actually sometimes some pain in your lower back. So you want to be able to find that one straight line. You want your legs to be completely straight. You want your shoulders and your wrists to be lined up. And if you pull your upper body forward like I'm doing, and if you pull your lower body backwards, that will naturally create that straight line that you're looking for in your plank. So again, maybe even practice with the mirror and notice if this is happening or this is happening. Those are the two things that I tend to see, and try to have neither of them happen. Or even like practice with a friend and just notice that. And if you're catching yourself doing that, that means maybe for a little bit come down onto the knees and just feel that lengthening of the tailbone, lengthening of the lower back, so your butt's not sagging down or not pressing up. Does that make sense? One more?
Great. There's one more question. Might have been a joke, but how do I do this sitting at the computer?
How do you strengthen your core sitting at a computer? You could just breathe. You could do some of those breath exercises, maybe a little bit of cat-cow, so you're typing. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. Heart forward, round the spine. That's all I got. Cool. All right, thank you so much, PaleoHacks. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening or wonderful day wherever you're at. My name is Paul Teodo. I will be back next week with another workout for you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.